Alright, we are back! Continuing the final case of the first game, and you had asked me before we started, it's been a while, what happened last time? Here's what I remember. We confronted that Shih-na woman, did the cross-examination, pretty much confirmed that she was Calisto, right? So, we got that. She did say, though, that she didn't actually kill anybody tonight. The Amano group seems to have been put in the center of this. Whether they're the main culprits or just a hog, we don't know. Now we go into the videotape's testimony. So now we know who the Yatagarasu really was. Oh, and that's another thing. We found out it was 3 people.
Yes.
And yet there remains much of this case that needs to be resolved. Like how the weapons crossed country lines, for example. The 2 countries have incredibly strict security systems and entry procedures. Short of a miracle, it's impossible for someone to have smuggled them in. Smuggling them in, huh? We will need to open a new line of investigation in just this aspect alone. But before we do, I would like to go through my evidence once more. Unnecessary evidence has been removed, remaining evidence has been rearranged. Hey, there's a VCR here, sir. So, let's look at our evidence again. The embassy guide, 2 countries share the border. Babel's Primaduck statue is a fake. What are you swanning around there, kitty? Oh, I was wondering where this was. The cap to the blue pen. No, she was too busy exploring the cosmos. Coachen was stabbed. Yatagarasu's key. Alabastian knife. Cadopian paper document related to the Babelese ink smuggling. The Zhangfa counterfeits. The Mass 2's note. Request to steal that statue. Coachen wrote the note. The alabaster product statue was used as a weapon. Samurai spear. Passion flowers, which we haven't used at all yet. Neither samurai dogs either. Pick. That's wet for some reason. The fountain spouts. The photo of the Yatagarasu. We haven't figured out what that was. We just know it was a thing. 2 fires. Wire. That was in the grandfather clock revolving fireplace. Hair sticks. Trump card. And the video tape. KG8. Whoa, wait. This blood belongs to Detective Faith, who was killed in my office by Mr. Portsman. Sadly, it would appear that he was partnered with anyone but a good prosecutor. Now we can see what's on that tape Detective Bad gave us. Also, was Detective Bad the one we found out was behind us with the gun?
Yeah.
Okay.
I believe so. Why he didn't hurt us.
Right. He just nicked that painting on the wall. There we go. At least I think so. Detective Gumshoe, if you could please play that tape for us. Sure thing, sir. This man, it's Manny Coachen. And he's holding a knife in his hand. This looks like footage from a security camera at the entrance to an apartment building. He also has a trump card in his hand. An apartment building? How do you figure that? Unlike you, I actually read the summary file on the KG8 incident. The crime scene was the victim's own apartment. So this footage was shot at the entrance to the victim's own apartment building. At the trial, Mr. Faraday claimed that this piece of footage existed. However, no one could find it. Yes, somehow, someone was able to steal it and hide it through Mr. Ernest Amano. I can see how this would have been a definitive piece and why someone would want to hide it. But it's a piece of evidence from a 10-year-old case. There's no way it's related to this case we're working on now, sir. Actually, I believe it has everything to do with the case we're working on now. The ringleader even went so far as to use Mr. Portsman to retrieve it. Which means that in this video lies a very inconvenient bit of footage to the ringleader. Where? Where? Wait, what was that? Huh? That bit you played just now. Please show it to me again. This car, this is something we cannot overlook. Why is that, sir? A flag?
Probably.
Take that!
This is the national flag of the Principality of Cadopia. And because it has the national flag on it, we know this to be an official government car. But the question we should be asking ourselves is, what was the government car doing there? Ah, Miss Von Karma and Mr. Edgeworth, so you were here all this time. Ambassador Alba, thank you very much for continuing the investigation, even at this time of night. Ah, if only I was even a tiny bit more careful. This tragedy would never have happened. I am truly sorry. This wasn't your fault, sir. This had nothing to do with how careful you were. You idiot, Quercus! You couldn't chase after a simple thief. Now then, let's get down to the real reason why I came looking for the two of you. I would like you to put the investigation on hold for a while. Can you do that? Excuse me? I heard you've apprehended the thief that turned this embassy upside down, and we are in the middle of an event celebrating our country's reconciliation. You can't exactly have the police and detectives walking around here forever. You're scaring the visitors away, so I hope that you can understand how I feel. But we must finish our investigation and resolve the remaining issues. Why don't we leave the rest to the Alabastian and Babylonis police? Ambassador, we are so close, just a little more and... Miss Von Karma, I'm afraid I've made up my mind. And without my permission, you can't proceed with your investigation anyway, right? That's true, however... As he said at the very beginning, this area can be considered to be Alabastian soil, in which case we are nothing but foreigners in their land. Is this really where our investigation ends? Shifu, we found Mr. Edgeworth, sir. Shifu, this way. Yo. Oh, he'll probably do that thing that you like.
I like it. It's just so weird.
Well, it almost looks like he's doing some kind of attack in some fighting game like Street Fighter when he does that. And, you know, this is published by Capcom, which published Street Fighter, so... You're back on the scene rather quickly. If I laid back and took a break, I'd lose the scent of my prey, Mr. Prosecutor. Agent Lang, why have you returned? Because I have to solve this case no matter what. Well, I'm sorry to inform you the wrong way. I don't suspect you personally. However, a member of Interpol was just found to be a thief, and so... Under these circumstances, I wish to put your investigation on hold. After all, I believe our own police can handle things from here. They are quite capable. At this rate, our investigation really will come to a close. Heh. Heh 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 heh. Ah ha 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 ha. Oh my god, Lang's also Calisto you.
Maybe it's a brother.
Ambassador Alba, I get it now, I really do. Oh, I'm very glad you understand how I feel. No, not that. What I was talking about is... I know who the killer is behind tonight's murder. You... know... the... killer? Do you really mean that, Agent Lang? Heh, wolves don't lie. Then who is it? Well, let me first say that I'm not talking about Mr. Coachen's murder. That was all Shih-na. But she said she didn't. Lang's eye says the truth lies not at the exit, but rather shines outside the maze itself. The truth is unexpectedly simple. So let me ask you this. Who do you think was Damask II's killer? Huh, I'll tell you who. it was you, Franziska von Karma.
What?
So I was going to joke and say he's going to accuse Edgeworth, but von Karma's pretty close. I was the killer? Hey, wait, but that's impossible. Yeah. Although, that whip is actually quite... Yeah! Hold your tongue! And that ludicrous remark you were about to make. Agent Lang, are you seriously accusing her of murder? Yeah, I am. He doesn't appear to be joking. Hey sis, I remember that just before Ambassador Alba went to give a speech, he called you into his office, right? Yes, he did, but what does that have to do with anything? Getting to that. Furthermore, in order to solve both cases, you moved around rather freely between Alabas and Babel, did you not? Where is your evidence that I am the killer? I was just getting to that. Trust me, I'll show them to you in due time. Ambassador Alba, in order for me to bring this case to a close, I'll need to inspect your office one more time. Will you grant me permission? With things as they are, I suppose I don't have much of a choice, do I? Good, then let's move out. Oh, and don't even think about running away, sis. My pack will be keeping a close eye on you. You can bet your bottom dollar on that. As if I would have any reason to flee. But just so we're clear, your logic had better be sound. Because I'll accept nothing short of a perfect explanation. She seems rather upset, not that I blame her. I expected that you'd accept no less. But we'll see how long you can keep that nose of yours stuck up in the air like that. Arr. Agent Lang, as someone related to tonight's case, I request that you allow me to take part, and so that I may clean up my superior's mess. I guess I should. The more the merrier, especially when it's the peanut gallery. Oh, in that case, I want to join in too. I still haven't seen what it looks like in Alabast yet. If you're like Kay, then you gotta let me in too, pal. I can't sit around and do nothing when Miss Von Karma's in trouble. Hey, Gummy, let's have a competition to see who can save her first, okay? Okay, I'll take you up on that. Oh yeah, I'm fired up and raring to go. As a detective, I don't believe this is something you're supposed to be excited over. Sounds like this is going to get real interesting. Ambassador Alba, I'll be bringing these kids along for the ride. Very well, but I'd like you to keep in mind that this will be your last chance. I'll have this whole mess cleaned up before you know it. Now let's go. Okay, now let's first go over the facts one more time. Manny Coachen's body was found in the Secretariat's office in Babel. The weapon that took his life was one of Alabast's ornamental knives. And then the body of the Mask II, Mr. Ka-Shi, was found here in the Alabastian ambassador's office. Although, through our investigation, we found that the murder weapon was the Primiduc statue, and that this is actually Babel's statue. This case, no matter how I look at it, sis, if it wasn't you, then there's no one else who could have pulled this off. Agent Lang, do you understand the full implications of what you were saying? Of course I do, sis, and I'm serious. You were on the trail of the smuggling ring, and you wanted any evidence you could find. And so, while people were distracted by the Yatagarasu's appearance, you snuck in here. That's when you two ran into each other. You and that other thief who took advantage of the confusion from the fire. Even if all that were true, how do you explain the movement of the weapons? Don't worry. I plan to show that you're the culprit behind that too. You have permission to investigate both embassies at will. With that kind of free reign, you could have easily taken the weapons across country lines. Hey now! Oh, that was different. Look, sis, I thought I already told you. I'm not messing around here. This case isn't directly tied to the smuggling ring, but Shi-Na certainly is tied to the smuggling ring. He is right in saying that she is a member of the smuggling ring. However, the connection between this case and the ring, could it not be deeper than what any of us can imagine? Let's get this ridiculous circus over with already. Franziska, you need to calm down, because you only know the facts of the Alabastian side of the case. I don't believe you can see this case as a whole and therefore solve it. What? But don't worry, I am taking this seriously as well, and I will prove your innocence. That's the only way to be, Mr. Prosecutor. Can you come up with anything else that can top my hypothesis? Of course, your explanation has to solve the mystery of the moving weapons as well. Of course, and I will. Let us now delve into the truth behind the murder of Damask II. You do understand, don't you, Miles Edgeworth? This isn't just a confrontation against Agent Lang. If you can't figure out the murder of Damask II is related to the smuggling ring, then it will mean the end of our investigation. As long as I have no good counter-argument to his hypothesis, the best I can do is walk this thin tightrope and see what I can do. Come on, Mr. Prosecutor, let's get started. Yes, let's. One of Alba's knives was used in Babel to murder Mr. Coachen. The murder weapon in the killing of Damask II is Babel's Primaduck statue. Somehow these two objects were able to penetrate the two countries' impenetrable security. The only one who traversed the two countries just before and after the crime was you. So as long as I can't explain how the weapons moved about, Franziska will remain a suspect. You got it, Mr. Prosecutor. So why don't you stop giving me a hard time? Under these circumstances, who the heck can carry a weapon across country lines? I've worked through every possibility, and there's only one that's plausible. Your boss. Agent Lang, what I've learned from you just now is that you've lost sight of yourself. What are you talking about? By focusing too intently on that which is in front of us, we become blind to the truth. Don't tell me Lang's eye never said anything to that effect. You prosecutor, who do you think you are speaking about Lang's eye's proverbs like that? I don't need his proverbs, because my words are all you will need to see the truth.
Hold it!
I concur that this knife crossed over country lines. Good, but that's not the only thing that did. We mustn't forget about the other weapon. The knife was only one.
Hold it!
So you're saying that the Primaduck statue was also brought over by Franziska. Like I told you before, that's the only way it makes sense. How exactly did she bring it over? I haven't figured that out yet. That's a rather weak statement considering how sure you are. Maybe, but there is one thing I do know for sure.
Hold it!
Impenetrable? I should hardly think so. You've seen the top of the wall between the two countries, right? Who in the world could cross over that? Yeah, not even I could climb over that thing with all that barbed wire. The only way into either embassy is through the doors in the Theatrum Neutralis. So the only way for the knife and the Primaduck statue to traverse the two countries is through those security camera-equipped, well-guarded doors.
Hold it!
Was Franziska really the only person to have traveled between the two countries? According to the guards at both doors, she is the only one to go back and forth. The sis there was an Alabas when the Yatagarasu showed. And then just before you guys found Mr. Coachen's body, she entered Babel. I think we can assume that's when she brought the knife into Babel. So how do you explain the Primaduck statue? I haven't quite figured that out yet. However, the fact that the two weapons crossed the border proves that the killer must have also traveled across the country lines. The only things to cross the border are the Primaduck statue and the knife. I should hardly think that those two are the only two items, Agent Lang. So... So, I don't know if it's... I'm thinking the third or the fourth statement. Let's look at our stuff again. Interesting. Hey, take a look at this, Mr. Edgeworth. There's dirt on here. It's totally ruining the beauty of the hair stick. I suppose. Why is there dirt stuck on the end of a hair stick in the first place? The design of these things are rather eccentric for hair sticks. Oh, really? Well, if they're that strange, what should I do with them? I have to say, these are by far the most bizarre hair sticks I've ever seen. In any case, Kay, there's something I've been meaning to ask. How exactly do you stick that hair stick of yours into your hair like that? That's a secret. Curiouser and curiouser. Now, here's the thing. Whatever this is, cross-country lines as well, right?
It is, but it looks like a smoke or something, not a person or a street, you know?
Yeah. Like, I could hardly think somebody threw the statue. And it just landed without breaking.
I was wondering if it's those flowers that cast in shadows.
Huh. That would be interesting. Oh! The vines are supported by stakes and still growing. Those must be the hair sticks.
What is this?
I'm just looking because I don't know which statement. So let me see what he says again. The only things across the border are the Primiduck statue and the knife. I should hardly think that those two are the only two items hidden. One of Alabast's knives was used in Babel to murder Mr. Coachen. And the murder weapon in the killing of Damas II is Babel's Primiduck statue. Somehow these two objects were able to penetrate the two countries' impenetrable security. Well, I say since we think that's a photo of the Yatagarasu, we use that, at least for now, to say someone else did.
Objection!
No! Oh, I really thought that was it. Because he's saying, oh, those are the only two? They can't just be the only two, and then we're... Let me press this again.
Objection!
this again.
Knock them back!
Question?
No question, honey. I'm trying to figure out what's going on.
I'm trying to figure out how to help.
Still the Alba statue. Babel statues that was used.
Objection! fast!
Let's see.
Can anyone travel between the two countries?
That's what I'm trying to figure out. I can't think of anybody or a way to show it. Some ideas.
Does that wire have anything to do with it? Could that wire have been from window to window to travel between countries and somebody spied on it?
I don't know how to prove that, or how if we'd be able to show that.
Objection! Not so fast!
What's that white piece of paper?
Objection! Not so fast!
All eternity?
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Well, let me see where retry gets me. Oh, that's perfect.
Maybe we have the wrong murder weapons.
Okay, so what do we present and where?
I'm thinking. I feel like it should be here, but I don't know the piece of evidence.
Me neither, and I've tried so many I've forgotten which ones.
Objection!
Coachen.
Why'd you say the hair sticks?
What about him?
You show.
Objection!
What was
They came from one area and were given to her. So
I'm gonna try the revolving fireplace.
Objection!
Might as well try it. Oh, I feel bad about this. I'm stumped.
I'm probably overthinking it. Is Mask the Mask an option?
No, we can't present profiles.
Knuckle back!
Yeah, Lang's Eye. Lang's Eye.
I'm sorry.
Objection! Knuckle back!
Did you try that piece of paper?
Pretty sure I did already.
Who did all the putting out of the fires? Because they would have traversed all of them, wouldn't they?
They were both in Babel.
The fires was?
Yeah. 2 fires broke out in Babel today.
What? Tell me that.
No. Cat's needing me. I missed the tempo to the song.
Yeah, use that knob. That could work with my name.
Objection!
You don't need to get a hint from the internet.
I think we need a hint.
Okay. I hate to do it, but I'm not quite sure what they want, because I feel like this should be the statement.
I feel like it too, but I also feel like the third statement could be it. But I don't know.
How would I search this?
Just look up Turnabout Ablaze, the videotape's testimony walkthrough, and they'll probably have something where it says, cross-examination, and might say present this for the first one. Just be careful not to read too far ahead if that's the case.
present either the prima duck statue at the third statement. Somehow these two objects were able to penetrate the two countries and control security.
Either of them?
Yeah.
Objection!
I don't understand.
I like how he just sighs and does that, like we didn't just show him 20 pieces of bad evidence. These two items are not the only two to cross the border tonight. Oh? Damask the second was killed with Babel's Primaduck statue, yes. But if that's the case, then tell me, where did Alba's Primaduck statue go? To Babel. Precisely, and if the two statues really were switched, then this means that both statues were smuggled across the border at some point. Which means that a total of 3 items were smuggled across the embassies. I guess so, but you know what? It doesn't matter the number of items, only that the sister's the only one who could have done it. Because the only person who went back and forth between Alabas and Babel was her. Is that really true? Was there no one else who traveled between the two countries? Actually, there was definitely another person, one who paid a visit to both sides of the wall.
Objection!
Is that really so, Agent Lang? Ah ha ha ha. What a lousy time to try and bluff your way out of this. I checked what the guards said, along with the security camera's footage. You're not going to overturn my hypothesis that easily. But suppose there was some other way other than through the theater doors. There we go! Now we're getting to the idea I had. And though I hesitate to bring this out, as long as this entity exists, the impossible road becomes a possibility. It looks like you've got some clever idea in mind. I do, and I can show it to you through a single piece of evidence. Fine, then. Let's see this other piece of evidence that will show me this other route. See, the only pet peeve I have with these games is I'll have the idea before the game wants me to have the idea.
They want you to they want you to breadcrumb to it.
Yeah. I'm sure you were familiar with this unforgettable photo. That supernatural photo? Like I said before. Humans can't fly. No, of course not. I understand that perfectly well. And don't start claiming that Shi-Na somehow grew wings either. I wouldn't dream of claiming that. And I won't allow you to take back what you've said either. I'll say it again, it's not humanly possible to fly through the air without wings. So you better have a good explanation for this, Mr. Prosecutor. Arm. How can I prove who it was that flew through the air in this photo? Wait, not humanly possible? Eureka! Very well, you will have your explanation. It sounds like you have a good idea simmering inside that head of yours. Let's hear it. The face hidden within this photo's blurry, trailed window is... Well, you think it's the fire.
Let's hear it. The face hidden within this photo's blurry, trailed shadow is... I don't think it's the fire. Well...
Wait, not humanly possible. Eureka! The face hidden within this photo's blurry trailed shadow is...
Did you save?
Yeah. I'll just go.
Take that! Not so fast!
Nope. It was.
Bit me when I was turned away.
You always attract biting with the cats. I don't, but the...
Hand here and She bit me.
I just feel like the way you handle them.
Oh, yeah, but she's next to her.
No.
Can't wait till you get bitten.
This is a PG-rated stream, girl.
I hope you get bit too, you little
But you can't take it. It's already been streamed.
brat.
Mm,
Booger.
hurry up and show me what that shadow that's flying through the air is.
Female dog. The Yatagarasu.
Even had you not barked that at me, I would have gladly done so, Agent Lang. Need to go over it one more time. The man-shaped shadow that flew through the air, wrapped in the darkness of the night. Its real shape can only be this one thing.
Take
It was the
that!
statue.
Knock him back!
Yeah, it was my prosecutor's badge. It's not a samurai spear. After the first fire on the 4th and 5th floors. Not the fires. Or at least, whatever. It was the other
Take
statue.
that!
Really? Naturally, the shadow was the third smuggled object, the Primiduck statue replica. You can't be serious. The Yatagarasu, or rather Calisto Yu, dressed as Agent Shi-na, was inside Babel. She dressed the replica statue up in clothes and launched it through the air. Ha! Mr. Prosecutor! You left out a very crucial bit in your explanation. I know I did. She launched it through the air. Ha! And how exactly did she do that? He is literally baring his fangs at me. But he has a point. How exactly did it move through the air like that? Especially Calisto Yu, who weighs all of 98 pounds. As long as this remains unsolved, we won't be able to move any closer to the truth. Which reminds me, didn't he say this earlier? So just before the murder, Franziska was called here, right into this very room. If that's the case, then that may be another avenue I can pursue. Agent Lang, in order for me to answer that question, I will need to hear testimony from Miss Von Karma. Oh, what are you up to now, pretty boy? Earlier you mentioned something of interest to me. You said that just before the murder occurred, Miss Von Karma had been in this room because Ambassador Alba had called for her. And for that reason alone, you believe her to be the killer. Yeah, I guess I did say something like that. In that case, I believe it is my duty to ask her what her side of the story is. Do you really think a criminal would tell us the honest truth? Wouldn't she have to be convicted first to be a criminal? Right now, she's just the prosecutor, right? That's like saying, I think you killed him, you're a criminal. Like...
He just suspects her,
Yeah, she's not a criminal yet. As I've said numerous times, there is absolutely no proof that I am the killer. Miles Edgeworth, don't tell me you suspect me too. I don't. However, I can't ignore the fact that you were in this room at what point in time, which is why I would like to hear about it from you. Franziska, I feel that I still don't have enough information, which is why your testimony is incredibly important to the outcome of this case. Alright. So, what would you like me to talk about? I'd like you to please testify to your movements up until you came into this room. Alright, let's try this your way for a change. But if what she has to say turns out to be a waste of time, I'll place her under arrest faster than you can howl, "No!" As you wish. As I said earlier, I was assigned to guard duty in the Alabastian embassy. After I saw the Steel Samurai off on his way toward the ambassador's office, I returned to the Rose Garden for a bit and checked up on the security situation. After all the preparations were in place, I was called back by Ambassador Alba to his office. Franziska, I want us to make this clear from the very beginning. So what I wish to confirm is that the only time span in which you were in his office was before the murder occurred. Is this correct? Yes, of course. I see. For now, the only way that I can see for us to break out of this situation is to ask Franziska about her testimony in more detail.
Hold it!
I thought your duty was to fact-find anything you could about the smuggling ring. Yes, that was my job, but upon hearing that the Yatagarasu was sent a calling card to the embassy, Ambassador Alba called upon us to protect the embassy instead. That incident 7 years ago, or have you forgotten what happened here back then? Anything related to that case we were involved in appears to be rather painful for her. It's not exactly one I can readily forget myself. It looks like you remember the case after all. Of course I do. I inspected every location, every possible escape route, and every aspect of the police security detail. I did all that, then after I saw the Steel Samurai.
Hold it!
Well, this is only part of the sentence. See, you're at the theater as well. Yes, and I suppose you were also there as well watching that stage show. Well, yes, so Franziska was there. Well, after the show was over and I saw the Steel Samurai off...
Hold it!
Why did you need to confirm the degree of preparation for even the speech? For security's sake, of course. What other reason could I have had? No one knew just how the Yatagarasu had planned on getting in, right? Yes, I suppose you're right. And in the end, the Yatagarasu did choose to appear in the Rose Garden. Even if it did turn out to be nothing more than a shadow, who would have thought that she would use a shadow? Calm down, Franziska. She must still be nursing a grudge over the fact that she couldn't figure it out herself. Anyway, there was no one in the Rose Garden, and we were aware that the speech was set to start soon thereafter. After all the preparations were in place, I was called back by Ambassador Alba. At that time, the mask of the second's body was yet to be found in this room, is that correct? That's correct. When Ambassador Alba was here, one could hardly miss his rather large presence. A criminal will say anything to get out of getting arrested. How do we know you're not lying? Well, if you need proof, I'd be happy to oblige you. Seriously? Well, like I was telling you, I arrived in this office and Ambassador Alba was already here. He was standing by the flower box by the windowsill. I can attest to that. I remember speaking with the lovely lady around that time here in my office. Alright then, add that statement to your testimony and let's hear some details.
Hold it!
For the sake of being thorough, I'd like to ask you something. How did you know that Ambassador Alba was watering his plants at the windowsill? What do you mean by that? The entrance to this room is on this side, however the window is on the opposite side. If what you say is true, then when you entered the room, his body would have been like a wall. He could have been blocking your view of what he would have been blocking your view of what he was doing. Isn't that not correct? I suppose it was a bit hard to see around him, but fortunately for me, Ambassador Alba is not an immovable wall. I knocked before I entered, and as I did, he turned around to greet me, with a watering can in his hand. So it's only natural to believe that he was watering his plants, right? I suppose. After his greeting, we spent a little time talking about his flowers. He had obtained them himself, and is growing them with the utmost care, you know. Yes, the plants in this room, they are all like my children. The passion flowers in the flower box on the windowsill are growing beautifully, too. All 4 of them are in full bloom. Miss Von Karma, what did you say just now? I said that the flowers are growing beautifully. What about that statement do you not understand? What do I not understand? I do not understand why a certain thing is the way it is. I'd like for you to append that statement to your testimony. Very well. Thing is, I thought there were 2.
Yeah, but we have 2 of the sticks because somebody took 2 out for some reason.
Yeah.
Objection!
And now we're probably finding out why the hell those hair sticks are even a big deal. Franziska, for some odd reason, your testimony contradicts with this piece of evidence. It does appear that way. I knew it. I knew we couldn't trust your words, sis. Mr. Edgeworth, I love her shocked face. I don't know, I think it's because her mouth is so comically large. It is anime, though. What are you doing discrediting Miss Von Karma like this? Yeah, sir. If you keep this up, she's gonna get taken away, sir. Eek. All I've done is state what I saw. I have not made a single mistake in my testimony. And for this, I am still under suspicion for murder. Is the number of flowers really all that important at this juncture, Miles? At the very least, it is a contradiction in this enigmatic case. One that I find hard to dismiss as irrelevant. Then let's hear it, Mr. Prosecutor. What does the number of flowers have to do with anything? What does it prove? I believe the answer to that will become clear if we were to examine that flower box. How did this contradiction come about? There must be something behind this discrepancy. They're my beloved flowers. I've grown them with the utmost care. So I ask that you please be gentle with them as you examine them, Mr. Edgeworth. I understand. Oh, look, there's 2 holes. This patch of soil looks as though it has had something removed from it. What are you doing, Mr. Prosecutor? Why'd you clean up all of a sudden? I'm still here waiting for an explanation, you know. Did you know, Agent Lang, flowers are best appreciated in silence? It looks like 2 things were pulled out of this flower box. The name of these flowers, I believe they're called passion flowers. Despite being called flowers, they are actually a species of vine. They appear to be growing well and are well supported by these plant supports. Yeah, but no matter how I look at it, it looks like there are only 2 here to me. You realize, don't you, sis? Your little lie has failed you. Mr. Edgeworth. Miles Edgeworth, hurry up and shut this man up for me already. I suppose I will need to use some evidence to shut him up. I believe I have just the piece of evidence you require. Oh, you do you? You have such confidence in the face of your current plight? But I highly doubt it will last until the end. You howl like a wolf, Agent Lang. But we'll see if you have any bite to back up that bark after you see the evidence. The truth the passion powers reveal can be seen in this evidence. The hair sticks.
Take that!
Shih-na, who was supposedly in Babel the entire time, had these hair sticks on her. That look exactly like the plant supports in this flower box. In other words, I believe it can be said that these hair sticks are in actuality support sticks for the passion flowers. And so what? Is this really all that important to the case? Of course it is. It means that we found yet another item that was smuggled between the countries tonight. Yeah! There's your favorite thing. Think about it logically, Agent Lang. These sticks were originally in Alabast, but somehow they wound up in Shih-na's hands, who was in Babel the whole night. So make no mistake, these sticks were smuggled somehow, just like the knife and statue. Arr. Very well, then. I want to hear from you exactly how they wound up in Babel. How did these support sticks find their way to Babel, and why? There must be some reason as to why they ended up there. Aha, so that's why. Agent Lang, if you would please take a look at this and tell me its shape. It's just not a stick, isn't it? And so it is, but the shape of the support sticks is what is important. But when they are used with something in this room, that's when it all comes to focus. And the object that completes the picture when used with the support sticks is... What was used for the support sticks?
Nothing.
This.
Eureka!
Why this?
Well, I thought the support sticks in that made the shape in this picture.
But didn't we say that it's the actual statue itself?
Oh yeah, we did. Okay, so what with these two sticks makes something else? I wonder. The only thing that can really connect the two offices together has to be this. Is the statue itself?
We've already established that the statue is part of it. But we're trying to figure out how she's getting that statue to the other place.
Well, right now we're trying to see... why did they end up over there? The shape of the sticks is what's important. For when they are used with something in this room, it all comes into focus.
Did the sticks again?
We can't.
Eureka!
So this is the shape of the sticks.
It's the crossbow. And it's an arrow. Like that line.
Oh wait, yes! That's a crossbow. Wait, you're not really suggesting. I am. These hair sticks are other plant support sticks. They make for perfect arrows. Ayah! I've done it. I found the common thread that connects the two offices. But this thread has yet to be completely untangled. Even when using arrows, how does this explain how the statues were transported? Now the wires. There must be a common thread that ties all of these things together. Mr. Prosecutor, hold up a second. You do realize what happens when you tie a statue to an arrow, right? They don't fly at all. So Babel's statue was draped in the Yatagarasu's clothes and then shot over here? Even if you fired the arrows from this side, they wouldn't go far with a statue tied to them. I don't think I need to tell you that the Primiduck statues didn't sprout wings. You're a realist after all, aren't you? The Primiduck statues didn't sprout wings. Of course they didn't. Glad you understand. I feel much better already. I was afraid for a second that you were unaware of that crucial fact. It's only crucial because you're under the belief that wings are necessary to this equation. What? You need to free your mind a bit more and let it fly like a bird on the wind. The Primiduck statues flew, but not on a wing. Allow me a bit of your time, and I'll explain this mysterious phenomenon to you.
Hold it!
But we are in agreement that an arrow by itself would reach the other side, correct? But just the arrow by itself is pretty meaningless, don't you think, Mr. Prosecutor? Because the things they wanted to smuggle were a lot bigger than nothing. No, that's not necessarily true. What? What I need right now is not further discussion of my conclusion, it's the launching of my conclusions. What the shooter wanted to launch with the crossbow was not the statues themselves. Rather, something a crossbow could launch that could be used to move the statues. Perfect, and this is where we do the wires.
Objection!
Finally. Finally, we have reached this point in our discussion, where I present to you that which was carried by the arrow from the crossbow. Heh, I get it now, Mr. Prosecutor. I can see exactly what you were trying to say. You're trying to say that the wire was tied to an arrow and then shot into Mr. Coachen's office.
Something like that.
Yeah, all the way from the 5th floor of the Alabastian Embassy down to the 3rd floor of the Babylonis Embassy. If that's what you're claiming is really what happened, I can see how Alabast's Primadec statue could be moved. Okay, so he actually admits. Okay. Gravity could be used to move the statue down the wire from the 5th to the 3rd floor. But then, what about Babel's Primadec statue? The dark shadow in this photo is clearly flying away from Babel. Going in the opposite way of gravity from the 3rd floor of the Babylonis Embassy up to the 5th floor of the Babylonis Embassy. How do you explain that? Aha, I think I finally see how the gears behind this whole trick work. Agent Lang, the motion used behind this trick. I wonder if perhaps you have yet to envision how it works in your head. Motion? What motion? This is the motion that was employed to smuggle Babel's Primadec statue. Bungee action, swinging motion, rotary motion. I guess swinging? Maybe? But how would it swing? What's rotary? Just in a circle?
Yeah, try that.
Bungee, so straight down, and then back up. Yeah, that's why I didn't get why we said that. I would say swinging. Kind of like the 3rd case from the 1st game. Swing. The statue would swing right into the building's wall. Okay, well, there's only one more left. I believe it was done via rotary motion. The 2 statues were transported simultaneously. Get real, the statues will collide somewhere along the way. Did I ever say that there was only one line of wire between the 2 offices? If you shot an arrow through the 2 ends of the wire tied to it, a circular belt can be formed. Lang's Eye says, don't object and call a success what is beyond reasonability. Taking into account the tension between the 2 wires, the top one would sag too much to the point where the statues would collide anyway. Agent Lang, as you know, the Primadec statue is a one-of-a-kind national treasure. And the fact that Babel's statue is a hollow replica of the real statue, it would naturally be lighter than the real one, meaning that my idea is very possible. Lang's Eye says, "Wow!"
Oh?
How? Here's what I believe happened. Miss Yu and her mystery co-conspirator set themselves up in the 2 different rooms. The co-conspirator bridged the rooms by shooting the 2 ends of the wire down on one arrow. Then the 2 of them covered the statues and proceeded to transport the statues. After the switch was completed, another arrow was fired, carrying the other end of the wire down to Babel, where it would be disposed. And to do that, Miss Yu hid it inside the grandfather clock. QED. Ha 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 ha. Grr. Oh, was she just whipped? Finally, you don't whip Edgeworth. This proves it, right, Agent Lang? That I'm not the killer. Not yet, sis. I still haven't had my dessert yet. Right, Mr. Prosecutor? The proof is in the pudding, as it were? Pudding is a nice dessert. So, do you think you can do it? Can you prove that what you said is what happened? Because remember, if you can't, I'll be taking a certain someone back home with me as a souvenir. I agree that as long as there is no proof, my hypothesis remains just that. However, what I have laid out is no mere hypothesis, for there is one more piece of evidence. One more? This should be interesting. You think you have a piece of evidence that will turn your hypothesis into fact. Well then, let's see it, Mr. Prosecutor. The thing that made it possible to create a circular belt out of a length of wire, I believe that it is right here in this very room. Now that I believe this is what made the circular belt transportation method possible. The thing that made it possible to create a circular belt out of a length of wire, I believe that it is right here in this very room. Now I believe this is what made the circular belt transportation method possible. The fan?
Take that!
You can rotate.
Yeah. Looks like you dropped another bomb on us again. The last piece to the trick are two pulleys. Precisely, the ceiling fans double as pulleys in this case. And thanks to the fact that there is one installed in each of the offices, the ceiling fans made for the perfect pulleys set for the wire to run on. This must be it. This is how the smugglers bypass the impenetrable security. Ha 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 ha. There, you really are something else, Mr. Prosecutor. I bet you figured it all out already, haven't you? You know who the big hotshot that set up this real-life stage show is, don't you? The person who set up this rather large and complex stage show needs to be someone who had foreknowledge of the existence of a ceiling fan in both the Alabastian and Babalese offices, and that the passion flower support stakes could be used as arrows. The real mastermind behind this case. Well, don't you dare make this wolf wait for his food. Why are you so hesitant, Miles Edgeworth? If you can't say who it is, why don't you present something like you always do? A single point of a finger here in this case will explode into an international incident. However, it's already too late for me to stop the forward momentum. It appears that I have no choice now but to rush in. There's a piece of evidence that will prove to us who the mysterious mastermind is. I think it's Alba, since he knows the room. Well, we need to finish this, because once we finish this, then probably that'll be the big reveal, and then we can save. This song, though, is forever linked to Gumfuck Didn't Tell You.
This is PG-13.
Oh, no, it's PG.
Oh.
So at least get it right.
Well, you said F, which is worse than the B word.
Yes, but it's part of a great meme, which means it's ageless and priceless. What do you think of that? The person who set up this rather large and complex stage show needs to be someone who had foreknowledge of the existence of a ceiling fan in both the Alabastian and Babalese offices, and that the passion flower support stakes could be used as arrows. Well, you know, that flag that picked him up, maybe it has something to do with this. There's a government car.
Take that! Not so fast!
Never mind. This smuggling cannot have been possible without the use of the crossbow. Furthermore, the arrows that were shot by the crossbow were plucked, as it were, from the flower box in this very room. They were planted so long ago that the passion flowers had the time to grow so big. And Miss Von Karma didn't even notice the arrows when she visited this room today. On top of all this, the fact that the culprit knew that both offices had ceiling fans tells us that the person has very detailed information on the embassy's layout. So as you may have already guessed, the person I am accusing of hatching this plan is the person who grew the flowers in the flower box with the utmost care. Thus, it can only be you, Quercus Alba. Are you out of your mind, Miles Edgeworth? I'm certain of what I am saying, and I am sure that he is the culprit. Tell me, Mr. Prosecutor, what was the ambassador trying to accomplish by doing all that stuff he just outlined? Why in the world would he need to use a trick like that? I understand your need to doubt me. However, there's only one thing that stands out to me as very odd. And just one thing, huh? The one single end result Ambassador Alba sought to obtain. If we were to examine the focus of this complex trick, I believe we will finally find the answer to everything. Everything will become clear once we examine this piece of evidence. One thing stands out to me as very odd. The one single end result Ambassador Alba sought to obtain. Yes, so
Take that!
For the next statues.
Not so fast!
One piece of evidence has only been partially checked. And that piece which lies at the heart of the smuggling. Well, we didn't really look at
Take
this.
that! Not so fast!
Huh? Part of the smuggling ring. We do have the counterfeit bills. Oh, we haven't really looked at this note a lot.
Not so fast!
And here I was so sure myself. We haven't
Take
really
that!
looked at the tape.
Not so fast!
Now then, if I could ask you to please leave the premises. As you can see for yourself, I am an old man, and I'm a bit tired from all of this. Wait, please. I've made up my mind, so if you could please... Agent Lang, a good job to you as well. Although I don't think we'll ever be meeting again. What? Now then, please respect the request of the ambassador of the Kingdom of Alabast, and vacate the premises. Is this it? Thus the truth was lost for all eternity. Keep losing the truth for all eternity. But I want to get this part done because after this will probably be cross-examining Alba, and that will be the next time. So what has only been partially checked exactly? Card containing orders from boss of smuggling Ren. Oh.
Take that!
I keep saying oh to the things that aren't the right answer. I thought I had a point, though.
Okay. That pick. Because maybe it matches up with the key.
Hey, yeah, we haven't really done anything with this, have we? But it's not the answer to this. I mean, I guess this piece, which lies at the heart of the smuggling, so it's got to be something.
Counterfeit money?
Maybe it is the bills. And I already did this. I mean, I don't think the samurai spears. I'm sure the fountain's balance had something to do with something, probably, but I don't know what.
Maybe it's the fountain because it's full of water, so how could we examine it?
I don't think it's the right
Take
answer.
that! Not so fast!
There are fireplaces?
I thought we did this
Take that!
already.
Not so fast!
Have we... Well, I don't see how you can check the fires again. We've kind of been doing that the whole case.
Take
Let me
that!
just guess the samurai spear. We haven't, but somehow the samurai spear was the heart of the smuggling ring.
Is it the front part of that pamphlet, so it's like all the parts of the building?
See, I thought it was this, but I did.
Take that!
Yes.
Not so fast!
I understand why we're so stumped.
Yeah, this has been a weird night for us.
I mean, I am half asleep. I could not know.
Everything will become clear. Once you've examined, the knife we've gone over.
That piece of paper?
This?
Yeah.
Oh, I already said I presented it.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
We did the money. We did that. Did the statue?
I thought we had examined all the statues, but I mean, might as well. I would fully understand the reasoning had the situation been the reverse. However, to go through the trouble of swapping the real Primiduck statue for the fake, essence a very shady reason for such a bizarre action. And who better to ask for that reason than King Primidux himself? I see. Ambassador, we'll be examining that statue now, with or without your permission. These are Mr. Coachen's fingerprints. The fact that they're on here suggests the statue once belonged to Babel. So it was smuggled from Babel to Alabast, huh? Why was there a need for them to smuggle it in? This guy kind of looks like the Steel Samurai, don't you think? Maybe it's because they look alike that he was picked to be the Goodwill Ambassador. I suppose that's possible, Take a good look at the area around the base of its neck. It looks like a gap. Hey, you're right. Maybe it's meant to be some kind of secret. Perhaps it's possible to open the statue from this gap in its construction. What? Hurry up and open it, Miles. Alright, here goes. Wow, it really did open up. Hey, what's this thing that fell out? I believe a more thorough examination if it is required. What in the... is this... Hey, is this what I think it is? It's a plate for making counterfeit bills. Somehow it appears that we've at long last arrived at the exit to this complex labyrinth. We finally hold within our hands one of the counterfeit money plates, and the reason why the replica was smuggled into Alabast to begin with. The Primiduck statue can only be handled by the ambassador or the secretariat, and the replica is nothing more than a hollow shell covered in gold. These two circumstances made the statue the ideal object in which to hide contraband. After receiving the statue containing the counterfeit plate from Shi-na, the ambassador had the misfortune of accidentally running into Damas II. Surprised by the thief, the ambassador raised the replica statue at Damas II and... then, in order to frame the Steel Samurai of the murder, covered the Steel Samurai sword in blood. Well, Ambassador Alba, you are the leader of the smuggling ring? Our country is a mess, and it's all because of you? You're the one who killed Damas II? Answer us. I never thought that you would figure things out to this level. However, there is one point I disagree with you on. The head of the smuggling ring was Mr. Coachen. Quit screwing around. I have no sympathy for someone who would try to pass the guilt on to a dead man. There's one thing I'm sure of, is that you're the real ringleader, Quercus Alba. It's not good to speak with such subjectivity, you know, Agent Lang. Subjectivity, my conclusion, is anything but, and is the result of logic and investigation. Logic and investigation? Only seconds ago you were ready to arrest Miss Von Karma. I don't think we can give such flip-floppy logic any real weight, do you? Heh. Heh. It looks like you still don't get why I came back. Excuse me? You see, the reason I came back is so that I could sink my fangs into your wrinkly old neck. From the very beginning, my real target has been you. What? Agent Lang, I demand an explanation. Sorry, sis, I didn't mean to put you through all that. Oh, really? I knew you were innocent from the very beginning. You did. I knew that this whole incident had been meticulously planned and prepared for, so naturally the occupant of this room, Ambassador Alba, seemed the most suspicious. But without the ambassador's permission, we couldn't get in to take another look around. Ah, so that's why you put on this big show to accuse Franziska of the murder. Using Franziska as the bait, you were able to gain us entry and investigative rights. Yeah, if I hadn't done that, I doubt the ambassador would have given the okay to poke around. So that's what all this was about. Very well, I will forgive you. But in exchange for using me as bait, you will take some responsibility and help us find the truth. Agent Lang, for giving me such a great opening, I thank you. You know, I just knew, Mr. Prosecutor, that somehow if you were able to find some proof by investigating this room, that you'd be able to figure out the real culprit with your special brand of logic. Have the evidence detectives collect combined with the logic of a prosecutor? That's just as it should be in a prosecutor-detective team, right? I don't know about all that. But one thing I do know is that I'm itching to see that old man get what's coming to him. Ho ho, you're quite scary when you want to be, aren't you? Hey, you were the one who was planning to use me to push all the guild onto the sis. But unfortunately for you, you misjudged me. Agent Lang, I wish for you to stop trying to intimidate me. What we need right now is evidence and proof. I wonder if you have what is necessary to prove that I am the head of the smuggling ring. Don't be such a sore loser. If you really are the head of the smuggling ring, then you should acknowledge your crimes with dignity. Dignity? That is nothing more than a fool's insincere display of strength. If you really wish for me to acknowledge my crimes, then I would like to first see some of this thing you call evidence. I tell you I knew nothing, really. I didn't even know that a counterfeit plate was hidden inside that statue. You swapped a real statue that vested in your country the authority to rule for a fake. It doesn't make any sense that you didn't know anything. It doesn't make sense? Where doesn't it make sense? Can you prove that it doesn't make sense? He's really got us. He's turned the entire situation around against us. The proof that Interpol had been after, which points to this man as the ringleader, if we can somehow find that proof now, then we can see to it that justice is finally served. Is there nothing I can use to break this case wide open? Trump card and the videotape. With those two items, we might be able to finally bring this man down. But the card is evidence from a case that Mr. Faraday hid away in secret, and the tape was stolen by Detective Bad from the police. They're both illegal evidence. No matter what, a prosecutor of the law can't be allowed to use such pieces of evidence. Needless to say, we Von Commerce are commanded to achieve nothing but victory, and by any means necessary. The only way to bring someone like that to justice was to do so outside of the courts. That's what we thought at the time. I no longer follow the path of Manfred von Karma, and I won't follow the path of the Yatagarasu. This leaves me with what? What creed will I believe in? If I want to pursue the truth, then I will sully my hands in illegality. And if I want to pursue justice, then I will lose the truth. What is the law? And what is justice? And which path is a prosecutor supposed to follow? That choice is the one I must make by my own hand here and now. Use the trump card. There is no limit to the law. Any limit that exists was set there by man. When a person goes beyond that limit, then the law too crosses into new territory. For what reasons were laws invented? The answer to that is what I must now show. Ambassador Alba, I wonder if you might recognize this. Oh, I wonder what that card is. I've never seen that before in my life. It's a directives card used by the leader of the ring to relay instructions to his subordinates. Oh, is that what it is? This card was sent to the real culprit behind the KG-8 incident 10 years ago. A man by the name of Mr. Manny Coachen. Oh, so why do you have such a card in your possession? Because it was hand-delivered to me by a certain great thief, the Yatagarasu. The Yatagarasu gave that to you. Don't talk nonsense, so let's be serious, Mr. Edgeworth. Do you have any proof that the card contains directions from the ringleader? I'll have you know that the card is not the only thing I was given. What? This contains security footage that was shot just before the start of the KG-8 incident. The KG-8 incident? The card and the video. These two pieces of evidence are what will seal your fate. Ho ho, very interesting. I must admit I am very curious now. Very curious indeed in these case-deciding pieces of evidence that you presented. The prey the Yatagarasu had been chasing all this time now stands before me. I can't allow this man, who has had free reign for 10 long years, to simply walk away. Now is the time for me to bring to fruition the valiant spirit that was given to me. So, what is this interesting thing that you wanted to show me? The trump card. These two pieces of evidence together make for the ultimate hand. And this is where the real meaning behind Detective Bad's words will be realized. Detective Gumshoe. Yes, sir? What you see here is security footage shot just before the KG-8 murder occurred. From this footage, we know that the card is a directives card from the smuggling ring. This is the section that proves the card was used to relay an order. I think this will be better to figure out on another day. I'm with you. Time to tap out. I feel bad because if we're close to the end, then... Sorry to even do that during a stream, but yeah, if we're close to the end, I want to understand exactly what the heck we're doing, and I don't think we're going to by guessing. So that'll be it for today. We will find out next time what section does what, because that I do not know right now.